Okay, so this set of notes is about doing observational studies and the timing of them. So we've got three different ways to time an observational study. One is called doing a cross-sectional observational study, or a cross-sectional observation. In this, it's data that is collected at one point in time. If you want to visualize this, you can visualize this as being the present. Okay, an example of this would be something like an administration of the SAT. Everybody takes it at the same time. We're taking a measurement of a population of students, or at least a sample of them, and it's all happening all at once. So it's at one point in time. Okay, and usually we visualize that time frame as the present. So this would be a cross-sectional observation. Okay, the second way to consider time and an observational study is to do a retrospective observation. So here, what you're doing is you're actually looking at data that is collected in the past. So you're looking through data that's collected in the past and you're examining it in the present. So this can be considered as like a past tense observation. Okay, so this would be something like a doctor looking at a patient's medical history. Everything that he's looking at is data that's been collected in the past, but he's making a present evaluation based on that past information. So cross-sectional is looking at everybody in the present. Retrospective is looking at something that happened in the past in order to understand it in the present. And the third type of information here is, or observational study here, is what we would call a prospective. Sometimes it's called a longitudinal. Sometimes it's called a cohort study. And for this class, we'll tend to call it a prospective study. This is where you take a cohort, which is just a group of people, an identified group of people, and you collect data about them over time. So you're identifying the group first, and then you're doing series of data collections over a period of time. So this can be seen as kind of like future timing. You identify the cohort in the present, and then in the future you collect data about them. Something like a drug trial for a pharmaceutical firm would be a good example of this. You identify who is your control group, you identify who's your experimental group, you look at the benefits and side effects of the drug over a period of time based on these two cohorts, and you have done a prospective study on these two groups. So in summary, there's three ways to time an observational study. One is doing a cross-section, which is the present, there we go, where you take a look at a group of people all at one time, present day, right? You have a retrospective study that looks at their past history and makes present day arguments about that. And then you have a prospective study where you make a cohort of first people and then you make future observations about them. Okay, so there you go. There's your timing and observational studies.